CEWT Talk is a weekly 20-minute podcast brought to you by the Continuing Education Workforce Training Division of Idaho State University's College of Technology. This podcast is part of our continuing outreach efforts, and the format is conversation. We're having conversations with businesses, professionals, entrepreneurs, community agencies, and in all cases, difference makers. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud. So subscribe today. Take 20 minutes and hear from people living in your community who are making a difference in your community. It's time to get started with CEWT Talk. Hello, everyone. This is Jason Batalden with Continuing Education Workforce Training. And we want to say, first of all, thank you for tuning into CEWT Talk. And yes. And with that, Paul, you're on the show today.
I'm always on the show, but today we have a full house.
We do. We got everybody on the show today. You know, I got to stop teasing you about being on the show because you are literally on almost like all the shows. So
yes.
You miss one episode, and I just use it as a constant excuse to tease you. So,
but you know what's great today? I think we get to sit back and watch some other people work.
Yeah, well, and that, what a great segue, Paul, because that brings in the infamous Scott Stevens, who is our customized training program director. And Scott, you're on the show today, and you have some pretty cool information that you want to share with everyone that's listening in.
Absolutely. And I am infamous. I am famous for some people, like they see my number, like, oh, don't answer that. That guy's whatever. No, I'm Scott Stevens. And the thing I want to talk, what Jason's alluding to is the construction combine is coming up March 31st and April 1st. We're excited. We've got a lot of things going on with that. And we're excited for all the people that are supporting it. Especially here, the National Guard, and like how receptive and supportive they've been of this project from the get-go. And we'll kind of talk a little bit about that in hopefully in this episode.
That's right on. And hey, Scott, real quick, if someone wants to get some more information on the construction combine, how can they do that?
Yeah, the best way to get information on the construction combine is to go to our website. We have a website for it. It's www.construction spelled out and then all one word in this construction combine. So construction CONSTRUCTION combine COMBINE .org ORG. So yeah, that's probably the best way. Or to get in touch with me, my phone number is 208-241-5209.
Right on. Thank you, Scott. And that's going to be a great event. It was shut down last year, just about everything else in the country, thanks to COVID. But we're bringing it back. And I think there was a great comment that you said earlier about it's not just important for the construction industry, it's important for our community. So we are uber excited to have the construction combine firing off this year. Which leads me to our next guest, who's probably the one more important, at least to the CEWT crew on here. And Gary, you're on the episode, so we got to all be on our best behavior today.
Is Gary a guest, or is he like our third host?
I don't know what to call. I mean, besides boss, we call Gary the boss. And Gary, I got to admit it, you're outnumbered today. As far as you're outnumbered today, you've got a bunch of Army people here.
That's true.
A lot of Army in the audience, and that's okay. Every now and then we got to put up with that, but I would think just as much. All right. Well, thank you, Jason. Thank you, Paul. You know, I'm going to hit this button that says go, and I'm going to say welcome to everybody to CEWT Talk, and I do appreciate the Army National Guard being here with us today. This is actually the second Army National Guard group that we've had. I think we had Staff Sergeant Braxton Beasley, right before, and that was about a little bit over a year ago. So this is really cool. I mean, we talked about other things, and they were supporting back then. And today we have just another opportunity to welcome this fine organization to CEWT Talk, and also thank them for the work that they're doing, not just here in Pocatello, but around our state. So joining us today. Sergeant First Class Annie Torres, Major Edwards. Let me see if I get this right. You're both from Idaho National Guard marketing, recruiting, and retention, or is it recruiting and retention? And Shawn, you are the XO. And
yes, sir.
Tori, you're the recruiting and retention marketing. You do everything expert, is what it looks like. Right? Okay, well, welcome to both of you to Sweet Talk, and you have a sidekick in Scott. This guy is obviously showing his colors there behind him. Thank you, Scott. Thank you for your service. You've been awesome. We're here today to talk about the Army National Guard and construction combine, but more importantly, the community thing and what you do as part of your organization is you support just so much around the state. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk about a couple things with that too. Construction combine, though, is what we're here to speak about, and I'd like to have you two come in first and maybe just say a minute, a brief background about yourselves. Annie, could I say, where do you come from? How did you get into the Army National Guard? Would be a great start, and then I'll let Shawn take it.
Sure thing. So I actually started to join the Guard when I was in the band. I saw a flyer on the wall for musicians, and I was a musician at the University of Idaho. So I had quit the University of Idaho and pursued other things, but I missed it. So I saw that flyer and decided that was the best way to get back into music. And from there, I found a full-time job on Gowan Field, and I deployed in 0405, which landed me a full-time position as a supply sergeant in logistics for the past 14 years. And my career has just taken me into the marketing department here in recruiting. So it's been a lot of fun.
Wow, that's pretty broad, and a lot. It takes you lots of different paths. It's always amazing how much we pick up and you learn. So thank you for that. Okay, Major Edwards, thank you for joining us. Maybe a brief background on you and how you got into the National Guard.
Yeah, real quickly. So I was actually attending Idaho State University. I was in the swimming pool one day there at Reed's Gym, and all these Army guys jumped in the water, and I was like, I didn't know Army guys swam. I thought that was the Navy.
Yeah.
I was all confused, and I got suckered into coming and talking to the ROTC department. And I thought, it's a great way to finish out school. It was 2000, and I had a plan to graduate in 2004 from ISU. And so I joined. I enlisted, went to basic training, came back, finished out ROTC. And when I graduated there in Pocatello, I started up my own construction company as a full-time civilian, and part-time soldier was my plan. But when the recession hit, we were getting ready to deploy again. And so I went there, and when I came back, I just kept my job as a temporary and came on full-time with the National Guard, ended up moving to Boise. So, yeah.
Oh, those are great. Those are great backgrounds. Thank you very much. And just to clarify, you are both in Boise now. This is where you are. Your offices are main offices, and that's for the state, right?
Correct.
Okay, great. We're glad to have you on board as our guests. You've given your background. Scott understands all that language. Scott, maybe you can lead off with a question about how they got into the construction combine, but I think that was a relationship bit.
I would, but hey, just really quick, so Shawn, I was a cadet at ISU in 2000 as well. might have been one of those Army guys that jumped in the water.
Jumped in the pool.
I remember we did a lot of Army swimming training there at Reed's Gym, and that's really neat. That's cool to make that connection. The whole program was brand new when I was in it, and so that's really neat, Shawn. That's really cool. Well, hey, we are here to talk a little bit about the construction combine, and I just want to kind of start off by just how impressed and how thankful I am of how the National Guard has been on with us almost from day one. I told the story before when we were talking with Braxton Beasley about the way they kind of came on was we were out in the middle of the parking lot at Home Depot doing a walkthrough. It was like a week, or maybe it was 2 weeks before the combine was really going to hit. And somebody's like, hey, what are we going to do about power? And I was like, oh yeah, power. That would be a key idea. And somebody's like, what about the Guard, the National Guard? And so I just started calling back to some of my colleagues because I was in the Guard too, and called some guys that I knew were still in, and they got me in touch with Braxton. But I just like to know, like, what do you guys think, and how has it helped the National Guard and its efforts, and like, yeah, just kind of how you've seen the relationship grow and get better. Maybe we could start with Annie with that question.
Sure. I found out about the construction combine from Braxton as well. He actually told me about the event where he was a hero for the day and brought a generator and saved the day.
Yes, he did.
Need a cake.
But he had nothing but good things to say about the entire process. And then Sergeant Abrams, Tyson Abrams, he was involved with one down there as well. I don't know if he was just helping there, but they both hit me up and were like, we need to get involved in this. This is not just in our area, it's all over the state. It's a great opportunity to get involved in the community, and that's exactly what the Guard does. It also puts us in front of 100 people at every location, which is our target market. So we need to find them, they need to find us, and it's a great partnership.
Absolutely. Shawn, could you kind of like talk a little bit too on that as well? Like from your standpoint as the XO, are you the XO of the marketing like department or like?
Yeah, so I'm the executive officer for the recruiting and retention battalion. And so I'm just fortunate enough to be behind great recruiters and an awesome marketing NCO in the state. And I'm really just trying to keep up with her. I mean, she's the one that's really pushing this thing. I'm just fortunate enough that I have the background in construction. I'm currently building my own home right now, from the foundation up.
I'm sorry, Shawn.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of work, so makes for long days anyway after working hours. But and I love everything about construction, and for the opportunity to go and talk with other people about what a great event and really give back to the community just means a lot to me. So
that's awesome. Well, Annie, we're so grateful. And like, I know Braxton he talked to me about like reaching back. He didn't necessarily mention you by name. He's like, yeah, reach back to the headquarters. And like Tyson, we met him up in Coeur d'Alene, and he also, he was like, hey, this is awesome. I don't think he quite understood until he showed up to what was going on. And like, hey, we have a lot of kids, and we are after kind of the same people in this event, like, and it's not mutually exclusive, right? It's not like if they, go into construction, they can't go into the Guard. In fact, it's probably a pretty good symbiotic relationship or something like that to be in construction, be in Guard. I mean, maybe Shawn, you could talk a little bit about that, because it sounded like you started your career off kind of in both those worlds.
I certainly did. And, owning my own framing company, it was, I knew when, Guard weekends were coming up or when annual trainings and things. And so I could plan around it. And so just, I love construction. And so this is just such a great, opportunity to be a part of something really neat. So.
I think, sorry to jump in here, but I just think when you think about the construction combine, and I'm not just talking about the participants, and those who are benefiting from it, but I mean, just about the purpose of the construction combine, right, is to offer training to individuals to come work in the construction field. And then, what the construction field, how important construction is to a community, to the local community. And, I know the role of the National Guard. I should say I don't know all the role of the National Guard, but from what little I do understand, I mean, that's the role of the National Guard too, right? Is supporting the local community, making the difference, right where you're at home. And I think just in that alone, there's a real natural fit between the Idaho National Guard and the construction combine.
I agree with you, Jason. But so let me just, sorry, I hope I didn't step on anybody's toes, but Shawn, could you just kind of tell about like your first experience, like in construction coming out of college and like what you were doing with that, and kind of just like, give us some of your a little more of your background in construction, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So I worked for a handyman through high school. I went to Meridian High School and then ended up going to Idaho State for college. And I got picked up.
Not Boise State, right?
Idaho State. Yeah.
Idaho State.
I'm a Bengal fan through.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I worked for Elk Country Framing, and he really taught me how to frame. And I ended up leading my own crew while going through college and doing ROTC full time. And I just worked with lights, in the evenings after classes. And when I graduated, I decided, hey, it's a perfect opportunity. The market was good. And so I started my own framing company working for the same general contractor. And we named it American Builders LLC, and I framed homes in Pocatello, Idaho Falls, and even up into Driggs. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
That's pretty good.
So can I ask a quick question? I mean, the National Guard's been involved with the construction combine for a few years, and you guys are really great helping out the community, and you bring us power for that event. But I also noticed you said something about, it's a way of making your presence known for recruitment. But what I noticed about the National Guard when they're at the construction combine event is they don't actively, go around pursuing recruitment. They kind of stand there, they provide their service for our event, and they wait for people to approach them. Is that normal?
It really depends on who's working the events and what skills they have. If it were me, I would do exactly that because I can't build a cardboard house, let alone anything. But I guarantee you that Shawn's planning on going to every construction combine event in Idaho this year, and he will be working right along the kids, answering questions, helping however he can because he has those skills. But my set of skills will be behind, making sure the food's ready. I'm coming from a background in logistics, so I'll make sure all the supplies are there, and I'll go fetch whatever needs to get fetched to make the mission happen. So it's just whatever skill set those recruiters have is where they're going to be best fit. But at the end of the day, everyone's going to have a lunch break, and that's where we're going to come in and talk to the kids and let them know what jobs we have that are available to their skill sets. And we do push trade schools quite a bit. So carpentry skills is one of them that we actually have a job for in the Idaho Guard.
All right. That's awesome. I got a follow-on question to what you asked, Paul. Shawn, when you said, or maybe it was you, Amy, you said Shawn's going to be at every event that we have going on.
Correct.
The Guard, Scott, didn't you tell me the Guard was planning to do something with a trailer and they're going to wrap the trailer? And that trailer is going to pull a lot of tools around. And if we need to, that trailer will be at every event as well. That is an awesome thing that the Guard is doing on top of what they do for us at just our event and the others. They're actually putting more money against getting a trailer, they're wrapping the trailer. We're going to use that trailer to move stuff around. And absolutely, yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a marketing thing, but that's a useful item. We needed that. Thank you so much for chipping in to provide that thing. That's going to be a great thing for people to see. It's a great contribution from the Guard, and that's on your dime. You've been doing it, and we so appreciate that. And thank you for going to all the events too. We got to let everybody know that you're going to be at every event.
Yeah.
Along those lines, you have to tell them, so Annie asked me, it's do you guys have a tagline or a motto? And I was like,
yeah.
Well, Annie, did you come up with a tagline for us or a motto yet?
And I even reached out to both Braxton and Tyson and said, hey, give me something, man. You guys have been to these events. So maybe after this year's done, we can figure out something since Shawn will have been on site and I'll know more.
Right on.
I think that'd be really cool.
I lean on you marketing guys to do that kind of stuff. Like Jason and Paul and even Gary, I can't even name a book, or I had trouble with my kids, figuring out how to come up with something like that. So, but no, that is something that's really cool. Is not just a trailer, but we're talking generators. Was that something that you guys were able to procure or?
Correct. So we have the trailer is going to be equipped with an 8K generator and about 200 hard hats that the kids can use. We'll toss in some masks. And what is the other thing we had?
Sweatpants.
No, there's a couple of things we're going to toss in.
Canopies?
Yes, the pop-up canopies for shelter. We'll have our grill trailers. It's a trailer that has a barbecue grill mounted onto it. So we'll be able to provide lunch at locations that need a lunch.
Holy cow. Wow.
You are all in this year.
We're going to be all in here too.
Hey, what is Wyoming? What are Wyoming, Oregon, Washington going to do when they see you guys doing this at the construction combines? They're going to want to do something similar. That's awesome.
They were us.
Okay, well, I've got an idea for a tagline for you, and it goes back to what I think was the Guard's part of the Guard's motto. Maybe it's not a motto, but you're always ready and you're always there, aren't you?
Right.
Partnerships and community, always there and always ready. Take that one from the Navy Sense. There you go.
There you go. All right, let's get a real one going on.
So
You're like that. Like, let's call it like building there. We're building there.
Building there.
So you're going to be there providing power and other help on these construction combine, but also you're hoping to recruit some people. I personally, I don't know anything about the National Guard Reserve. What's the commitment? How long do you serve? What kind of duties are you expected to perform? I don't know anything. So if just a tiny taste, could you share that with me?
Sure thing. So currently we have 17 different jobs that come with a $12,500 bonus. So we'll definitely have some flyers and let the kids know what is available right now. Every quarter, those lists change. So there's some new jobs that come available for that bonus amount. We pay for, like the ROTC program gives you basically free college by the time it's said and done. And we have state tuition. What else do we have? So many things. The insurance, medical, all that fun stuff comes with it. You can't find any health insurance out there outside of what the Guard provides for the cost. So that's a huge selling point if you're going to start a family or already have a family to provide for. There's just so many benefits and opportunities.
Well, I did not know that. I mean, it seems like if someone is out, because they do this part-time. They also have their full-time job, and there's so many, jobs out there that don't provide healthcare benefits. You'd think this would be a good way to supplement. Like I have, I coordinate the apprenticeship program, and I know I have a few people in my apprenticeship program that are reserves, and they email me, "Hey, Paul, I'm going to miss class for a couple of weeks. I hope that because I'm doing my reserve duty, and is that okay?" And I always go, "Absolutely." And I would imagine, these guys, they're in many cases, their employer may not provide a healthcare benefit, and I didn't even know that you provided that.
Yeah. Is that what you tell them? It's just absolutely, or do you tell them absolutely get your homework done?
Well, I tell them I will help them get caught up on doing their.
Oh, okay.
Because the thing is, it's a commitment, and they are serving in the community. I should make it easier for them, not harder. And I would think that their employers, if they're if they're not their own company, if their employees should do the same thing as well.
Agreed. Well said.
So can I ask a couple other quick questions? Like I love war stories, right? I served in the military. I went through ROTC. I was in the National Guard before I was in ROTC. But I want to hear some war stories from you guys. Like what is probably like one of your favorite, I guess memories or experiences serving, and it could be an AT, it could be out in the desert or whatever. But what is one of your favorite experiences in being serving in the National Guard? And I'll leave that up to both of you, but I hope both of you will answer it.
Okay, so I'll take this one first. I never thought that I'd have the opportunity to visit 26 different countries in my 18 years of service. And I've been fortunate enough to be on multiple training exercises and things like that. And I absolutely love, seeing a different culture. But I would have to say my favorite deployment of all was actually Hurricane Katrina. And because that was the whole reason behind why I joined the National Guard, was to help the men and women right here in our own country. And it was just overwhelming to go down there and see the devastation from Hurricane Katrina and work with the leaders in the sheriff's office and everyone down there to help coordinate and get this community back up and running again. And it was just, I will never forget that experience. It was my best war story, I guess.
That's awesome. That's what a fitting war story in a sense. Like, yeah, it's not actually fighting bombs and bullets, but just getting out there and really serving people and helping them to get better. And so, just a second.
I mean, it's community.
Yeah, absolutely. And Annie, would you mind sharing yours as well?
Well, I've been on 2 deployments to Iraq in 04, 05, and then 10 and 11. And I was also fortunate enough to go to Cambodia twice and do our stateside mission in Cambodia, or a state partnership in Cambodia. And I would say the Cambodia tour was a lot of fun, because just being over in that third world country and seeing what those guys are so at peace with and so happy with, and then we come home and see what we have so much of that we're not happy with. It's a crazy to see. But training up their military over there was pretty cool. Were you over there too?
I did go to Cambodia.
Yeah, I had a great experience over there.
Well, I think we had, I don't know what was going on, but I think we had like 3 timers going off. I know mine went off, and I'm pretty sure Gary's went off, and I don't know what all went off.
My office phone, and I
yeah.
apologize. That's what's going
good.
on. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
It was me.
It was you.
It was.
Well, I can see that our time is up. It's been verified twice. And so we're going to bring this thing to a conclusion here. Thanks to Sergeant First Class Annie Torres, Major Shawn Edwards from the Idaho Army National Guard for joining us today on Sweet Talk. What's going on with you, Paul? You keep
I need to know. I need to know, Annie and Shawn, if people wanted to reach out to you and contact you, how would they do that?
Airborne.
The easiest way would be through our social media on Facebook. You can just search us under Idaho Army National Guard and send us a direct message, or on our Instagram platform, which is at iGuardIdaho. Again, send us a direct message and say hi.
Great. Terrific. Thank you.
You done, Paul?
Yeah, I'm done now.
All right. Okay. Hey, Shawn and Annie, you can see that this is rather casual and informal. We have a lot of fun with it, and I'm usually the one who makes all the mistakes. So apologies for that. Thank you once again for joining us. Both of them work in the state of Idaho's Army National Guard Marketing Recruiting Office, Retention Recruiting Office, and they were very graceful in saying they joined us today. And I'll also say thanks to Scott Stevens, our token Army rep there from also who has served in the Army National Guard. Love that. And our resident expert in construction combine. Thanks for all of you for the service that you've given and for being a part of our communities and what you do. We hope our audience has learned a little bit more about the Army National Guard. You've heard how to contact them if you need to get more information. If you're interested, please reach out to them. Let them know you have a question. As Annie said, say hi. And for us, we are Sweet. You can find us at cetrain.isu.edu. Please hope you check in there, take a look at our newsletter, sign up for our blog. Let us know what you think or what you'd like to hear, and we'll see if we can make that happen. Thank you for joining Sweet Talk, all of you. Be safe out there.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Yes.
Thank you.